rumble of the discourse. We've taken an abandoned concrete factory at the margins of the declining American empire and repurposed it into a battleground where 19 separate entities from across the political spectrum enter the discourse one by one and do battle to determine who controls the narrative force of the discourse. I hope you'll join me, your Southern Gothic futurist host, dirtgod Raven Mac, for each and every episode of Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse. Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back here at our abandoned concrete factory at the edge of town, aka Catbird Arena. We are in the Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse Winter 2024, Week 4 of our 7-week series. 27 competitors. Two of them start out, one comes in. The real Royal Rumble's next Sunday, so you probably know how this goes. They get points each week. 1 point for eliminating an opponent. Final 4 get bonus points because this, unlike the actual Royal Rumble, is a 7-week series. Competitors are accumulating points through the first 6 weeks, and then the top 27 point getters are going to come back in Week 7 finale to crown a Champion of the Discourse for Winter 2024. Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse, of course, is sponsored by friends of Catbird Arena. Catbird, I got my Venmo and Cash App there. You can hit me with a little tip if you want. You should, man. Why not? I got heat and oil bills. It's cold. Anyways, friends of Catbird, and I tried to talk to Catbird before the event tonight, and Catbird said he ain't really had nothing to say, and I was like, anything? And he said, nah. So Catbird's feeling a little surly tonight. I can't say that I blame him. The discourse will wear anybody out. Politics will wear anybody out. Our standings, after our 3 weeks, we have our standings. Clarence Thomas there at 24. President Biden and Donald Trump, 20 and 19. Second and third. Not an FBI agent is right there. You got the bootlicker, Cornel West, and that independent centrist rounding it out. Let's go up to the ring. Let's get to the discourse. You see our police state and the lady copper in there. They are our referees tonight, as they were last week. And coming out first is Vivek Ramaswamy, of course, dropped out after the Iowa primary. Pretty much just been bunting for the decorative bunting for the Republican nominating process. And, of course, he's right there in Trump's camp already, riding Trump's coattails, jocktails, whatever you want to call it. And here comes Tim Scott, actually, who also was running more diverse bunting for the Republican nominating process, and he too endorsed Trump this week. And that whole process has pretty much just been them pretending to have a robust thing, not unlike what happened with Biden the last time. And actually, both candidates in 2016. I think Trump was an upset, but Clinton was pretty much predestined to win that thing in 2016. And this thing has just been performative for Trump to take it. All these guys are lining up with Trump because the Trump train is the only train going in the direction they want to go, even though they may not want to ride that Trump train because it's kind of ostentatious and it's going to get sidetracked along the way. It's the only one going where all these assholes want to go, so they're lining up to get down with old Mr. Trump. Tim Scott with a nice reverse suplex there on Vivek Ramaswamy. Going for the pin. And just a 2 count. And speaking of endorsing Trump, here comes Ron DeSantis, the guy that, when he got announced back in the beginning, remember some lady said he had big dick energy, and like Ron DeSantis is all proud of that, and he's just this tiny little asshole. And now he's, lining up to sit in the kook chair. Like, I kind of hate the fact kook is used in such a weird way politically, because all these guys are literal kooks to an extent, lining up to watch Trump do what they couldn't do, what they want to do, what they're unable to do, what they wish they could do. And now here's old Ron DeSantis. He suspended his campaign. He gets a pin on Tim Scott there. He suspended his campaign and is rushing to go sit in the kook chair at Donald Trump's feet and be part of his thing. And here comes Kamala Harris. So maybe we'll get a little counteractivity here against Vivek Ramaswamy and Ron DeSantis. The Democratic process is actually ongoing too, even though Biden is pretty much going to take it. Assuming Kamala Harris will be vice president again. DeSantis and Vivek with a big toss there on DeSantis and going for the pin. Quick kick out. And now Kamala Harris has a full Nelson on Ramaswamy. DeSantis watching. He quickly gets a shot on her when she lets go, and now they're in a test of strength. Referee right there to see if she gives it up, but she doesn't. DeSantis falls on his stupid face. And we got a buzzer. And here it comes. Old Creepy Joe himself, President Biden. And we're going to, once this thing gets settled to be Trump and Biden, you're going to start having to, the mainstream liberals start guilt-tripping anybody who doesn't fall in line with Biden that you're, how bad. And Kamala Harris been there by DeSantis. So DeSantis maybe feeling charged up after dropping out. He's got 2 pins in there already. They're going to be telling us we're supposed to vote for Biden or suffer the consequences. And we've pretty much been suffering the consequences with Biden. I don't understand how that can be. Like, if this is the alternative, that's not, I don't know. What do we do? Well, you know what you do. You just either pretend that voting works or you wait for it to fall. Here comes Donald Trump, the Trump train himself, the big old head idiot in charge. He has commandeered this party and commandeered the masses. It's been interesting to watch propaganda in effect in the last 10 years. And people say it's not propaganda. They believe in Trump. But you have all these polls that talk about people who, and this is what you're seeing in New Hampshire going into tomorrow. People saying they don't like what Trump does. They don't like how he is, but they're still going with him because their identity's tied up into that. And it's like, if you don't believe, here's the thing, man. This is the signs of propaganda. You have people who used to have American flags that now fly Trump flags. Now, if you're flying the flag of a man instead of the flag of a nation, you've been propagandized. And here comes creepy old Bill Clinton. Vivek Ramaswamy pinned by Trump there. And I hate to be a nihilist, but I think that we're pretty much... everything is set in motion for Trump to get elected, and that's going to suck. And it's going to suck. The election's going to suck, and Biden versus Trump is going to suck, and whoever is vice president for Trump having a debate with Kamala Harris is going to suck, and the whole thing, and those 2 buffoons having a presidential debate is going to suck and being shamefully stupid. DeSantis over the top rope. Trump's out there with him, and then here comes a kick, and Bill Clinton eliminates Ron DeSantis. So... Clinton showing Ron DeSantis what big dick energy actually looks like. And here comes Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney, that good old centrist type Republican. Clinton going for a pin on Biden. So we've got 3 presidents out there. Biden, former presidents Trump and Bill Clinton, and presidential wannabe Mitt Romney. Of course, he lost to Obama in that one election. And he's out there whipping on Trump. No love lost between them. And Clinton going after Biden pretty regularly. All 4 of them rolled up in the middle, and there's a 1 count. So we've got a lot of presidential, 8? Almost 16 years. And over the top rope, Bill Clinton tossed. Mitt Romney tosses Bill Clinton as the free thinker comes out. The free thinker is here again, and Mitt Romney dives out on Clinton. What was that about? Mitt Romney pretty much eliminated himself diving out on Clinton. Who do we score that to, Bob? My producer, Bob Dabalina. Well, we give it to Clinton because Clinton goaded him out. And then Biden pinned by that free thinker who came out. So now we got Donald Trump and a free thinker. And Trump with a German suplex into a pin attempt. Just a 1 count. Free thinker, of course, has free thought his way into thinking like a whole lot of other people and supports Trump. Oh, and here we go. Another free thinker. Man, I hope we don't do this again. We had an episode last year where we had like 6 or 7 of these guys, and now there's 2 of them again. So 2 free thinkers and Donald Trump. Of course, they all look very similar because they're not all that different from each other. But they're free thinkers, allegedly, and a free thinker tries to pin Trump, and then a free thinker rolls up a free thinker. Kick out by the free thinker from the free thinker. Free thinker going after Trump. They lock up. Clothesline on Trump by the free thinker. And they lock up again. And now Trump, bear hug on the free thinker. And here comes the Do Your Own Researcher. This Do Your Own Researcher, right-wing podcaster, YouTube guy. Not really followed by anybody, considers himself shadow banned, even though his content is just boring and redundant and reactionary. Free thinkers going at it in the corner. Do your own research, are not unlike these free thinkers. And there is a Frankenstein or hurricane run off the top rope by the one free thinker, and the do your own researcher gets the pin on the other free thinker for that. That really was about that free thinker with the knee pads who then gets slapped on his face by Trump. Do your own researcher going after Trump. So we've got a free thinker, do your own researcher, and Donald Trump out there. Oh man, that free thinker is just whipping on that do your own researcher with that Singapore cane. And here comes another free thinker. Another free thinker, Bob. That's 3 of them. And 2 free thinkers talking in the aisle there, and 1 blinded in the ring. Trump and do your own researcher going at it. It looks like somebody just suplexed Bill Clinton over on the far side. That might have been Ron DeSantis. Are they still out there fighting? Free thinker kicks Trump. Free thinker arm bar on the do your own researcher. So we got 2 free thinkers, a do your own researcher, and President to be Donald Trump. Man, do I hate saying that. Tag team suplex there on the free thinker. And here comes another free thinker. Another free thinker. And he's got words for Mitt Romney there in the aisle. Bill Clinton still out there, finally leaving the ringside area. So we've got 3 free thinkers, do your own researcher, and Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, kicked out of a pin by do your own researcher, is eliminated on the kick out. So he gets eliminated on the kick out. So Trump is gone. So it's 3 free thinkers and the do your own researcher. And then that free thinker suplexes the do your own researcher. So he is out. And now that free thinker goes to the top rope and dives out and eliminates himself. So we've got 2 free thinkers in there. That's all that's left. A lot of flurry of activity. And coming out to join these free thinkers, oh, this poor person. The neurodivergent NB, they, them, young person. They wear the mask. They told me backstage they fight under a mask. They have a lot of anxiety, crippling anxiety. Neurodivergent NB, and they're poor thing. They're out there with these 2 free thinkers. But they're holding their own. Tried to get a leg sweep there on the free thinker. Couldn't. Nice back slap. And there's a tag team move between the neurodivergent NB, one of those free thinkers, and the other one, and then neurodivergent NB with the rollover headlock. Looking tough out there so far. Oh, and I recognize the music. This is that fucking asshole from the record store, the Critical Thinking Punk. Man, I hate this guy. I mean, I used to hang out with this guy. I used to know this guy. I used to drink with him occasionally. But, God, he's such a pretentious asshole. And he thinks he's so punk. And he thinks because he likes punk music, he's some sort of like... Oh, God. Just what a horrible person. His fancy motorcycle. God, there's nothing worse than a wealthy punk, man. I hate them. They are the baby boomers of Gen X. They're probably the only ones who actually say Gen X, to be honest. Anyways, here comes a buzzer. And it's Rachel Maddow. I guess with the field getting set for the election, we're going to end up having our time of Rachel Maddow complaining about Trump in her snarky, snide way. Quick pin on the neurodivergent NB. You think Rachel Maddow, that would be their one ally in there. Free thinkers are locked up. Critical Thinking Punk just kind of hanging out, but then starts swinging that cane, and there's people fighting everywhere. So we've got 2 free thinkers, a neurodivergent NB, Critical Thinking Punk, and Rachel Maddow. Nice rollover on the Critical Thinking Punk by the neurodivergent NB, only a 2 count, and then neurodivergent NB kicked over that top rope, and then punched and eliminated. So neurodivergent NB is gone, and here comes Antifa joining the melee. And a pin in there by Rachel Maddow on the Critical Thinking Punk, but did not get the pin, only a 2 count. Antifa has one of those free thinkers up. Face buster. Rachel Maddow on a full Nelson by that other free thinker. Sledgehammer in the ring there in Antifa's hand. But they drop it. Police state and lady cop there, of course, to keep law and order, according to their bias. I didn't mention the ladders. There's 7 ladders in and around the ring. Those ladders represent the meritocracy myth and the American experience. And then there's also a bunch of briefcases outside the ring that represents lobbyists and super PAC money. And speaking of lobbyists and super PAC money, here comes Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House. And he's caught up with that neurodivergent MB in the aisle. Mike Johnson, of course, agreed to a budget deal. Sort of the only guy left to be the Speaker of the House, but he's already angering the crazies and not centrist enough for the centrists. And we got double pins in there. Antifa pinned by one free thinker and Rachel Maddow pinned by the critical thinking punk. So we've got Antifa and Rachel Maddow eliminated. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson is still in the aisle. Two free thinkers and the critical thinking punk are in the ring. A lot of self-proclaimed common sensible people, and Fannie Willis is coming out, the Fulton County District Attorney, of course, leading the prosecution of Trump down there. Some things that come out about extramarital affairs, her having an affair with the special prosecutor she appointed, conflicts of interest, and it's jeopardizing the Trump case. Of course, most all these people are corrupt to one extent or another. You're not going to find anybody with a clean bill of corruption health to prosecute Trump, but they're going to use it. They're going to point it out. And that's the thing, that the Trump way is to point out how others are like him, to condemn others while also justifying his own corruption somehow. I don't know how that works, but that's how it works. And Fannie Willis and Mike Johnson are still fighting in the aisle, and Fannie Willis going for a pin in the aisle. And here comes the bootlicker. I don't know, does that count, Bob, if they don't even get to the ring and they pin each other in the aisle? I don't think we've ever had that happen. Well, now the bootlicker and Mike Johnson tag teaming Fannie Willis, and while I wasn't paying attention, the free thinker got pinned in there. There's a lot going on, man. These folks have been fighting in the aisle, but finally the bootlicker hits the ring. Fannie Willis comes in and Mike Johnson follows. So now we have all our active competitors in the ring. The free thinker, the critical thinking punk, House Speaker Mike Johnson, Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis, and the bootlicker, who of course is on that leaderboard. And here comes Pete Bourgeoisie, the transportation of riding electric bikes. He rolls into the ring. We're going to start seeing him come out now. I'm sure that Biden is going to be the candidate against Trump. And that once that all gets sealed up, you're going to see people like Pete Bourgeoisie coming out and really pushing your buttons and trying to motivate you to wave rainbow flags and vote for Biden. And there's a pin, 1 count. Critical thinking punk falls on Mike Johnson, 2 count. Leg sweep on Fannie Willis by that free thinker. There's a roll up on Pete Bourgeoisie by the bootlicker, and Debbie DSA comes out. Debbie DSA, Democratic Socialist, roller derby chick, runs a nice little bakery. I will say, they have some pretty good savory pies at the bakery that Debbie DSA runs. I will admit that. Price range, a little bit out of my price range, but I can justify it once in a while, every now and then. It's not something I can do all the time, and it doesn't taste good enough to justify the price on a regular basis, but it's pretty damn good. So let's see. Oh, well, the free thinker and Mike Johnson are out there on the apron. That's a dangerous spot to be. And then look, there goes a hit. Free thinker knocks Mike Johnson out as the Blue Sky Communist comes out. Formerly the Twitter Communist. Of course, he has moved to Blue Sky. Blue Sky Communist. So who the hell do I got out here? Let me reset the field here. I see Fannie Willis, Debbie DSA, that Blue Sky Communist, Pete Bourgeoisie, free thinker, and the bootlicker. I think that's everybody. Excuse me. Hard to fill all the space of the discourse with commentary because his commentary is very painful. We get a buzzer. And from the south side of Facebookistan, here he comes, man. The reply guy, he is back at it in effect. Got that chair in his hand. Bringing that chair in the ring. And he swings on the back of Pete Bourgeoisie, and then there's a pin. I can't even see. There's bodies everywhere. And there's a pin on the critical thinking punk by reply guy, only a 2 count. Pete Bourgeoisie has that chair. The bootlicker kicks him. Blue Sky Communists and Debbie DSA going at it. Reply guy dropped by the free thinker. The police state and the lady copper down. Bodies everywhere. Ladders in their briefcases. What a mess. That's the discourse, folks. Big giant clusterfuck. And here comes Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, that independent senator. He was on the mic. I saw a clip of him being on the mic about long COVID this week. I'm glad they're finally talking about long COVID after it's too late. And the Blue Sky Communist got pinned in there, so he's gone. You know, I feel like conspiracies are kind of like long COVID. So, like, if you hear somebody talking, admitting about a conspiracy being real, it means it's no longer effective and irrelevant. And it's kind of like long COVID. Like, if they're already talking about it, it's too late. But, hey, Bernie's doing it. He's always good at the performative, progressive protest after the fact. And we got a buzzer, and it's the immigrant. The immigrant. So this is a El Salvadoran man who came to America due to violence in his home country. Came to America trying to earn a living for his family, and painted as a horrible boogeyman. He is allegedly the same violence that he fled from. Had to walk across Mexico very dangerously, riding the train and walking. Made it through the Arizona border. And now he has joined us at our abandoned concrete factory, most likely to do jobs nobody else will do. Better than most people do it. And yet be demonized as a horrible boogeyman who is going to destroy the fabric of America. And we get our buzzer and our last competitor coming out. The cheese stands alone. Here comes Nikki Haley. And there's a pin the critical thinking punk is beating. Good, maybe he can overcharge me for some records now. Nikki Haley comes out. She is left alone as Trump's last foe, pretend foe, hoping to do something in New Hampshire. It doesn't look good for her. Debbie DSA got pinned in there. Debbie DSA is gone. I doubt Nikki Haley's going to show well in New Hampshire. Go to South Carolina. Maybe she'll do better in South Carolina because that's her home state. But who knows, man? This is all just a mess. And the free thinkers have been out there for a while. So let's see. We've got, looks like 8 people out there. Of course, our final 4 will get bonus points. But we got 8 people. Let's see. The free thinker, the bootlicker, Pete Bourgeoisie still out there, reply guy, Fulton County DA Fannie Willis, Senator Bernie Sanders, presidential candidate Nikki Haley, and the immigrant. And there's a pin on the free thinker by Pete Bourgeoisie. Only a 2 count. Nikki Haley going after the immigrant, of course. Fannie Willis going up and down that ladder with no apparent purpose and then knocked off. She's lucky she fell in the ring instead of out of the ring. The immigrant hanging out in the corner. And him and the free thinker going at it. None of these people were on our leaderboard except for the bootlicker, so final 4 be getting bonus points to put them further up that board. And man, the immigrant just drops Bernie Sanders, held him up long and hard for a suplex. So again, it's our final 8, and Bernie Sanders has got superplex on that free thinker, and he goes for the cover. And that's a pin. Nice move there by the senator from Vermont, man. I got to give him credit. That was a devastating move by the old guy. So the free thinker's eliminated. He lasted a long time from that pack of free thinkers. He was the longest surviving free thinker. I guess his free will was the strongest. So we're down to 7. And the bootlicker over the top rope. He's staggering. And he salutes the police and comes back in. And Pete Bourgeoisie eliminated, so he's gone. We're down to 6. It is down to 6, folks. And there's another quick pin attempt on Bernie Sanders. Fannie Willis gets rid of Bernie Sanders. So we are down to 5. So our final 5 is Fannie Willis, the bootlicker, the reply guy, the immigrant, and Nikki Haley. And, oh, man, the immigrant just nailed the reply guy with that cane, that stick. Nikki Haley punching the bootlicker, sets that ladder up. Police State moves that ladder. A flip on the power slam, 3 count. Reply guy gets rid of the immigrant, so the immigrant is gone, and our final 4 is set. Unfortunately, the bootlicker is still in there, so he's going to get more points. The reply guy, Nikki Haley, and Fannie Willis. Fannie Willis, good showing here in her first time showing up in the discourse. Really making a name for herself out there tonight. Of course, the bootlicker and the reply guy, no strangers to violence against women, I'm sure. Sorry if that comes across as a joke, not trying to be. Of course, Fannie Willis, bloody out there. She nails the reply guy with that clothesline. And I gotta admit, I'm kind of pulling for Fannie here, y'all. Her and the reply guy are locked up. Bootlicker just throws Nikki Haley into that ladder. And he does it again. And a kick to the face of Fannie Willis by the reply guy. So these 4 are final 4. They will get bonus points. 3 points for the next person eliminated. 5 for third. 7 for second. 10 for the winner. Positioning themselves to come out later in our finale in a few weeks. Right now, reply guy and bootlicker tag teaming on Nikki Haley. That's gross. Fannie Willis climbing that ladder and just jumps down for nothing and climbs up again. What the hell's she doing? A moonsault on the bootlicker. Nikki Haley knocks down the reply guy, but then Fannie Willis and Nikki Haley go at each other, and Fannie Willis poses and the bootlicker nails her, and then he goes for a pin on the reply guy, and that's it. Reply guy is gone. So it is. We've got our final threesome here: Fannie Willis, Nikki Haley, and the bootlicker. Now you would think, in a commonsensical sort of way, Fannie Willis being a district attorney and the bootlicker being a supporter of the police state, they would go hand in hand. But no, they are actually opposites in the bizarre world that is American politics. And Fannie Willis runs into the police state there accidentally. Nice punch to the bootlicker. She keeps posing. She needs to just not showing off for the cameras and just get down to business and finish it up. And there's a pin on Fannie Willis, and that lady caught with a quick 1 count. And everybody into the ladder. All 3 of them down. All 3 of them crawling around. The discourse is wearing everybody out. Fannie Willis kicks both her opponents. Hopefully we'll get a woman winner for once. We haven't had that this season either. All 3 competitors. This is a long one. This is longer than normal. There's a punch to Fannie Willis and a leg drop by the bootlicker. This is a longer one, so they're more fatigued than normal. Bootlicker has her up. She drops again. She can hardly hold herself up, it seems like. And he drops her on her head with a big suplex. But she gets her way up. Nobody can make the pin. She's fighting back. Fannie Willis is tough. Knocked over the top rope, though. Bootlicker out there with her, but she's down. She's gone. Fannie Willis is gone, so we are down to our final 2, the bootlicker and Nikki Haley. And he punches her with that microphone. Big suplex. Holding her up, blood rushing to her head, drops her right there and goes for the pin. This could be it. 1. That's probably it, y'all. No, Nikki Haley kicks out. So Nikki Haley still got some fight in her. She kicks out. And now she's got him in a sleeper hold. Trying to make the bootlicker submit. Police state is right there asking him, but the bootlicker's not giving it up. And they get up. And they're back at it. She's running the ropes and then nails the bootlicker. She should really go for the pin right there. That was a big smash. And then he rolls her over. Now he's punching her in the head. Oh, man. He just gave her a throat punch. She's holding that hip as well. She gives him a backhand. She's still clutching that hip. Nikki Haley's putting up a fight. The last gasp of the doomed, I think, is what we're seeing here. And And she can't even, bootlicker throws her into the ropes and she falls before she even gets there. Oh, he just punches her and she immediately got bloody. That was devastating. Bootlicker punch to the face of Nikki Haley. I hate to see that. I mean, I hate to see all this. I hate that there's politics and discourse. I hate that I do this project, and yet I do. Why am I doing this? Why do I subject myself to this poisonous culture inside my own brain? And they're switching moves. Nikki Haley rolls, gets out. I guess I'm rooting for Nikki Haley. It seems odd. She's lesser of two evils in there right now. As you can see, the lesser of two evils does not really work. Oh, devastating spine breaker there. He should have went for the pin. And the lady cop climbing the ladder for some reason. I don't know what she's doing. And there's bootlicker slams her, and the lady cop with a quick count on top of the ladder. Why did she count on top of the ladder? She like... That was bizarre. Lady cop out of our screen, stomped her foot counting 3 quickly, and the bootlicker wins. In Nikki Haley's face there. Let's go look at this replay. So the bootlicker had this move on Nikki Haley, didn't go for a pin, takes her to the middle of the ring, and then he does slam her. The lady cop is up the ladder, but the bootlicker gets the pin and gets the win. So this is tonight's results. Let's look at these results. The bootlicker with 13 points. Now it should be noted the last 3 people eliminated were all eliminated by the bootlicker, so he didn't eliminate anybody until that final 4. Nikki Haley got 7 points. Fannie Willis 6. Reply Guy with 4, Do Your Own Researcher with 3, and then we had a crowd of folks with 2 points each in our standings after 4 events. Look at that. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas still at the top, 24. The bootlicker has moved into second with 23 points. President Biden and Donald Trump neck and neck now with 20 points each. Not an FBI agent. Third-party candidate Cornel West and Republican hopeful and most likely doomed, but we'll probably see her till the end of the month, Nikki Haley, in that leaderboard at 9. So there you have it. Once again, folks, this is supported by my Southern Gothic Futurist Patreon. I can't thank my supporters enough. I also can't suggest to those of you who aren't supporters enough to start supporting me, man. Start supporting me. Give me some money, man. Think of all the dumb shit you look at online and on the internet and everywhere there is, and the least you can do is throw a few bucks at me. That Venmo and Cash App were there at the beginning. That's RavenMac23 across all Cash App, all those things, man. Just, you know what, man? I'm just trying to survive capitalism, and I demean myself by doing these ridiculous things like this. And I hate politics. I hate the discourse. To be honest, I hate America. I'd be glad when it all falls, man. I'm from people that like to burn bridges, so let's burn them quicker, man. Please. God almighty, let's get to what's next. Anyways, with that in mind, we've got 3 more weeks of this. Next week will be week 5, week 6 after that, and week 7 will be our big finale for the winter 2024 season. So until next week, salam.